B75.
I'm informed that the project for the development of sea and air connectivity in Agaléga is of fundamental importance to the inhabitants of Agaléga. The existing runway and jetty are in a deplorable state, thus making it difficult and hazardous for the drone aircraft to land and ships to berth. In fact, the runway at Agaléga is made of crushed coral. At each landing and takeoff of the Dornier aircraft, the loose coral on the runway tends to get dislodged, thus causing damage to the aircraft. Continuous maintenance of the runway has to be carried out. As far as possible, we try to limit the sortie of the Dornier to emergency purposes, including medical evacuation. Moreover, the existing jetty cannot allow ships to berth, as such embarkation and disembarkation of passengers and goods have to be made via barges. This is a very hazardous operation for everyone. Therefore, the need to improve air and sea connectivity at Agaléga is long overdue and of paramount importance. I wish to inform the House that this project is being fully funded and implemented by the Government of the Republic of India under a government-to-government agreement. This agreement is subject to a confidentiality clause binding both states. I can assure the House that the projects in Agaléga are going forward and that they are in the best interest of the inhabitants.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sir. I have a few supplementary questions on this important issue. Last year, answering to a past PQ, the Venerable Minister, Honorable Jagru, that is on the 4th April 2017, PQ B114, he informed the House that the estimate and cost documents will be worked out by the Indian side and the entire procurement processes will be carried out in India. And he also mentioned that the project he expected to be completed by next year. But in his reply, the Honourable Minister did not give us any advance of the work, any details whether the work which was supposedly to start since last year, now it has been exactly 1 year, where matters stand. Has the works already started? When it is scheduled to be completed? We didn't have any information on this.
I can say that we are still at the bidding stage. As I have said in my reply, so there is a clause of confidentiality, so I am not in a position to give more information, but the procedure has already started and we are at the bidding stage.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker, please allow me to insist. We understand that there is a clause of confidentiality regarding, I don't know what regarding, but I'm just starting. I'm just asking whether the work has started or not. Because last year, the Honourable Minister stated to the House that the work will be completed in 2018. At least give us some information.
I have just said that we are at the bidding stage, so the work has not yet started.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, according to my information, there will be no EIA requirement for these projects. Can the Honourable Minister confirm this to the House?
Well, as I have said, Deputy Speaker, because of the confidentiality clause, so I will not be able to give more information on this particular project.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, sir, according to a document from the High Commission of India, 3 militaries are working on the airstrip projects and the jetty projects in Agaléga. Colonel Ashit Varughese, Commander Chakravarti, and Colonel Kunal Bhatt. Could the Honorable Vice Prime Minister state why? Why should militaries work on civil projects in Agaléga?
Well, what I can say, there has never been any agreement between the government Republic of India and the Government Republic of Mauritius for the use of Agaléga as a military base.
Honorable Mohammed.
Deputy Speaker, sir, thank you. Many years ago, the airport strip was constructed by the then DWC and it failed. Again, for the jetty, because of Radmare, it has failed before. I know there are confidentiality clauses, but can we know from the Honorable Minister who are the design engineers who are working on this, and what are the precautionary measures that are being taken, because we've signed an MOU and whatnot, that we do not end up with similar situations that we have had in the past?
I don't think we will end up with similar situation. I'm sorry, I don't have the information. If you can come with a specific question, then I will answer.
Honorable Adeel Ameer Meea.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. With regards to the runway that is being built, can the Minister confirm the length of the runway and the types of aircraft that will use this runway?
I don't have the information.
Honorable Patna.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Can the Honorable Vice Prime Minister state whether since time immemorial in Mauritian political history, any government, successive government, whether pre-independence or post-independence, but if the opposition are going to shout, I can't ask my question, whether pre-independence and post-independence, whether successive governments have at all bothered about the welfare of the people of Agaléga, and that
Honorable members.
They don't want me to ask the question because they know.
Order.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir.
Honorable members, allow the honorable member to put his question.
They know they have failed the people of Agaléga when they were in government. They know.
Order. Honorable Patna.
They failed the people of Agaléga when they were in government.
Honorable
and
Patna.
that can you today, Honorable.
Order. Honorable Balamudi.
You failed the people of Agaléga when they were in government.
Order. Right. Honorable Patna.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. But can you, Honorable Vice Prime Minister, confirm to the House that during your tenure, that you will ensure that the jetty and the airport will be constructed in order to maintain development in Agaléga, unlike those who are in opposition now, when we're in government, did nothing for the people of Agaléga, and today they are shouting.
What I can say,
Order.
What I can say, since 2010, this project has been announced, but what I'm telling today, this project is in our program, and we are concerned with the best interest of the people of Agaléga, and we will come forward with this project.
Honorable Bulel.
Since it has been established that there's a garrison of military personnel which is involved in the construction of the jetty and the runway, can I impress upon the Vice Prime Minister to state very clearly, one, whether there's a confidentiality clause, and two, whether Mauritius as a sovereign state has a right to know what is going on our territory?
Yes, but Deputy Speakers, I have never said that there are military workers who are working on this particular project. What I have said is there is a confidentiality clause, and I can't say any more on this particular
Honorable Mohammed.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, thank you for letting me put my question. Could you ask the Honorable Vice Prime Minister the following question, to pick up from where Honorable Bulel left off? We are a sovereign state, and my information is that there is no confidentiality clause whatsoever. At least this is my information. and the same principle as was adopted by the Indian government when it comes to Seychelles. In other words, complete transparency, which has always been pushed forward by Prime Minister Modi and the government of India, of being totally transparent. This was the same policy that they have adopted in regards to this particular matter with Mauritius. Therefore, I challenge the Minister to show us this document, because there is no confidentiality clause.
Honourable, are you doubting my words? So I'm saying that there is a confidentiality clause. So believe me or not, so this is up to you.
Last question, Honourable Ameer Meea. Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
May I just ask the Vice Prime Minister to read the confidentiality clause to us? What does it deal with? Does it deal with the infrastructure? Does it deal with the cost? Does it deal with who's going to do it? Please just read out. That cannot be confidential, surely. The confidentiality clause that my colleague from the Labour Party is challenging you. Please just read it.
Well, I don't have the document with me. If you come with a substantive question, then I will look at it and see what answer I will give to Parliament.
Last question, Honourable Ameer Meea. We have already exhausted time on this issue. Last question, Honourable Ameer Meea.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'll come back again to my PQ, that is PQ B114, on April last, whereby I asked the then Honourable Minister whether the detailed report project that is being prepared will be placed in the National Assembly. And now he's back. The Honourable Minister at that time, he said, I will do the needful. So we all remember what happened with the needful. But now, now Honourable Minister, I'm asking you whether this detailed project, because not to forget the MOU has been tabled. Yes, we are asking for the detailed project report, which the Honourable Minister said he will do needful, whether you also will do the needful.
The Honourable Minister Kunju tabled the general MOU of the developments to be carried out in Kunju. You just check the information. So he tabled the general MOU with regards to the developments to be carried out in Agaléga. Well, following the general MOU, a formal agreement has been reached between the government of the Republic of India and the government of the Republic of Mauritius, and I have said there is a confidentiality clause.
Next question, Honourable Ameer Meea.
I have been deprived to ask questions of Agaléga.
We have already exhausted time on this question.